one sleepy night on a late night phone call, Maul says that Drake told him he already turned down the Super Bowl way before Kendrick.
The sticky part about all of this is Drake has been offered this Super Bowl show for some years now and has turned it down. Probably 4 years he's been offered to perform at Super Bowl. Said no for whatever reason. Whatever reason, he just didn't.
Did he tell you that, or is that like a known thing?
I didn't know that.
I've never heard that either.
What? The who?
Drake.
Oh, yeah.
Said no.
Well, he has. Drake has turned down the Super Bowl a few years.
Why do you think he's turned it down? Because that's really interesting to me.
I don't know why he would turn it down. I mean, you know, that's up to the artist, you know, their discretion. Maybe I'm on the road right now. I don't want to, like, you know, whatever reason.
Want to be able to give it the proper
whatever reason it may be. It may be a conflict. When you talk about artists that are that big, it could be a conflict of interest somewhere.
What up, world? Your boy Challz Brown back again talking facts. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure you keep sending those cash apps because we really appreciate them to CLBMG. Gang, listen, I got to ask you a question. Does this make any sense? Rory and Maul put up an episode in regards to the Kendrick Super Bowl announcement, which we all knew. We all knew some kind of way Maul would try to deflect, belittle, and in other words, try to diminish Kendrick's accomplishment of being placed on the Super Bowl. And lo and behold, sure enough, he had a doozy. He had a whopper. He said him and Drake was laid up on the phone late night one night, just keying and kicking it, laughing about Kendrick. He said he just kept laughing, I don't know, that's kind of weird to me, but they just kept laughing about Kendrick, right? Whatever they was laughing about, it led to Kendrick, and it led to the Super Bowl. And somehow, some way, Drake decided that right now was the time for him to confess that he turned down the Super Bowl multiple years in a row. So when I heard this, right, a lot of stuff started to add up, and then a lot of stuff started to subtract. Some of the stuff made sense, and some of it was nonsense. And I'm like, oh, this makes sense. This is why Maul goes so hard for Drake, because he calls him. They talk at night. They're making phone calls to each other. If you have that kind of access to your idol, you're going to do everything. You're going to crash out. You're going to make yourself look ridiculous. You're going to be the donkey of the day 10, 15 times because that phone call at night means way more important. It's way more important to you than your dignity in the daytime. I'm just going to be honest. Maul looks crazy right now. First of all, let's unpeel the layers. I'm sure, let's say there's only two reasons Drake could have told you this. One of the reasons is for you to go out and tell us to diminish Kendrick's accomplishments. And to the people that believe this is diminishing. Drake is bigger than the Super Bowl. You know what I heard right before I heard the announcement that Drake has already turned down the Super Bowl? That Drake was going to headline the World Cup now. Do you understand how insane this stuff is starting to sound? So let me just say this. He either told you this so you can come back and report it live, right? Because he's not dealing with academics no more. Academics actually kind of sort of switched up and decided to kind of report a little bit of accuracy. And allegedly and apparently, you can't report no accuracy when it comes to the OVO team and camp, right? Just being honest. It feels like anybody that reported anything got cut off. Ask Lil Yachty. Anybody that said anything other than the champ is here, like he won, hands down. If you wasn't saying that and clowning Kendrick and laughing on with the phone with him every night or whatever got going on, then you was out of the camp. Maul don't want to be out of the camp. So the only reason he told you this was so you can come back and report it to us and you can stay on his good list. Or two, for some reason, he told you this in confidence. So that means You're telling us stuff. You keyed this with him and you told it against his wishes. There is no way either he really wanted you to say this or he really didn't. It's no kind of like, you can say it if you want. No, there's a reason this was said. There's a reason he said this. Either he wanted you to feel he was this big man and it didn't bother him with Kendrick going to the Super Bowl after he dissed him and literally destroyed. This man hasn't gone #1, gang. I'm just here to tell you. I'm just telling you, these records that are being dropped are not going #1. They're barely breaking 50. The career's in trouble, gang. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's a problem. None of these records are doing well. Not on the streaming services, maybe on Instagram, right? Not in the streaming services. So he told you this, right? Either in confidence or for you to go blab it, right? Now, if you're gonna go blab this, either he wanted you to do it, so that means he's trying to manipulate the situation. What Kendrick say? A master manipulator, right? I feel like what we're seeing is a master manipulator using you as the mouthpiece. He doesn't use academics no more because academics actually grew a brain and started to a little bit. I mean, he reverted right back, but he started a little bit to kind of understand that Kendrick was winning and this was actually becoming out of control. He was losing this battle. But Maul never got that memo. Maul was all in. We saw Maul crash out and go nuts, just screaming and swinging at the air like he in Boys in the Hood, right? I feel like this is a master manipulator manipulating Maul. And Maul is just as goofy. For you to be this old and this grown. And no, I don't believe it. Because every time we hear about somebody turning down the Super Bowl, we hear about somebody turning down the Super Bowl. We heard about Rihanna turning down the Super Bowl. We heard about Jay-Z turning down the Super Bowl. We heard about Taylor Swift turning down the Super Bowl. Right? They report that stuff. That's just stuff. That's what they do. They just report it. Right? I just don't believe it. Now, you're going to say, why won't you believe it? He's the biggest artist in the world, right? It makes perfect sense. Yeah, it does make perfect sense. And I kind of actually think it's very plausible. But it makes you look crazy to say it after Kendrick announces that he accepted it. It makes you look crazy to say it now. Why do we know now? Why do we have to hear about it after Kendrick has already accepted it? He's done his commercial. He's already said, no round 2. Let's go, right? Now you want to say, oh, guess what, Maul? Guess what? Man, the Super Bowl, man, come on, man. I could have did that 4 or 5 years ago. I could have did that before Jay-Z was up in there. Yeah, man, I turned that joint down about 4 or 5 times. Yeah, man, don't tell nobody, though. And what's the first thing you do? Run to the podcast and tell somebody. And he tried to tell it nonchalant, too, like, yeah, Drake turned that down a couple times. I mean, ain't no big thing. It's just he Drake. It could be a conflict of interest. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be something that well, he got interest. What entity? Let's slow down. Let's just rewind the tape. This when people say too much. A conflict of interest. What conflict of interest is going to stop you from doing the Super Bowl? I'm going to wait for you to explain that. When their whole purpose, UMG's whole purpose is to build that catalog and make it as massive as possible. In what world first of all, they got control of this man's career. He can't even put up a song without them telling him, take it down. In what world would they allow him to turn down the Super Bowl 4 times when they know the exact moment he does a Super Bowl, the catalog going to skyrocket by 600%? And they're going to make millions, if not billions, when that thing pop? In what world would they let him not do that? I'm just curious. Or would they ask him to not do it? What conflict of interest is going to get in the way of that gigantic bag? This dude got a $600 million deal with these dudes. He got to pay that money back. So what are we talking about? You didn't want to do the Super Bowl. You turned it down all of a sudden because Kendrick's taking it. Now you turned it down. Maul is too grown for this. He's too old and too smart to even say this out his face. Now, it don't even make Drake look crazy. It make you look crazy. It makes you look crazy because you're saying this nonchalantly as if it's no skin off nobody's back. Oh, you're reporting, this is groundbreaking news. You're saying it like it's nonchalant, like it's nothing, right? At the worst time ever, because he just got clowned in the Super Bowl commercial. So then you come the next day talking about, oh, Drake turned that down. You're the messenger. He's not taking the arrows you're taking in the comments. He's not taking the hits to his public persona that you're taking. This is almost as bad as when you crashed out a couple months ago. Because now you're telling everybody you're laying him on the phone late night with this dude, keying and ha-haing, and getting manipulated to go on your podcast and say silly stuff. It don't make any sense. And let's just imagine in some weird world, right? And I'm sure people do turn down the Super Bowl, right? They do. It's a fact. People turn down Super Bowl. And a lot of them state their reasons why, right? Rihanna had a reason, right? Jay-Z had a reason. A lot of them have reasons. What's Drake's reason? Who's money driven? Who is attention driven? Who's driven to be the biggest thing on the world? He's always talking about breaking Michael Jackson's record. In what world would he turn down the Super Bowl? And Rihanna eventually did the Super Bowl. So in what world would Drake turn down the Super Bowl when we all know Drake is a egomaniac? That would be the biggest stage in the world. He could actually say, I outdid Michael Jackson's show. In what world do we believe that Drake would turn down the Super Bowl and then write a rap talking about as big as the Super Bowl? Why would he say that? If the Super Bowl ain't big to him because he turned it down 4 times, it must mean it's nothing to him. If I turn down something 4 times, it's nothing to me. Dead ass. So why is he making records as big as the Super Bowl? Big as the what? The Super Bowl. If the Super Bowl is beneath you. Make this make sense, but more, you know what? Your credibility pretty much completely gone. You sit back in the chair all smug, trying to be cool. It ain't cool no more. It looked like a dude hiding his feelings. He really mad. He's tight about half the stuff that comes up in the podcast. Most of the stuff that you commented on, you trying to sound reserved because you don't want to get mean no more. You're becoming a liability on that show. The rest of them are looking at you. They're scared to say stuff because they're like, this dude really saying this weird stuff because he's connected with this man. Your credibility is low-key cooked. I'm just being honest, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I don't really, and I was rooting for Rory and Maul when they first dropped out. When they first left Button, I was rooting for them for years. I was like, Rory and Maul, go check my videos. Rory and Maul this, Rory and Maul that. But this right here, I am doing a 180 on this small situation. And Rory, by association, is becoming a goofball. Just by sitting there entertaining this shit. I'm just gonna be honest. Just by you sitting there not saying nothing, trying to say, oh yeah, well, you know, that's plausible. You sitting there trying to feed into this goofy stuff. You're taking a hit right with him. The whole show looking crazy right now. The 2 people in the back of the thing, they have the only credibility right now because they actually call y'all out on this goofy stuff. Right? I went and followed them. Right? But you know what? End of the day, man, do what you do. Everybody's out here grinding. They're making their money a certain kind of way. You're doing what you got to do to make your money. And if that is being the Drake go-between between the internet, stuff that he can't say because he would literally look insane if he put this on his Instagram or he put this on his Facebook, Twitter or whatever, in any kind of way came out and said this out in public, he would look insane. So he's using you to say it. Right? And I don't know if this is true, but I read in comments of all places, which a lot of stuff be true, that Drake has already done a couple Super Bowl pre-games. So it's like, how are you doing pre-games, allegedly, if the Super Bowl you're turning down? Make it make sense, but I'm going to leave it at this. I don't believe it. And if it's true, why would you say it now? You could have said that a year ago. Why would you say it when this guy gets the Super Bowl? Food for thought. Let me know what you think. CLBMG. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Share the show. And I'm about to hit 10,000 subscribers, so I'm about to start the memberships and all that. Let me know what you're going to do, man. Holla at me. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.